Fearless.org is a safe place to share information about a crime that's happened or about to be committed.
There's always a victim at the back of that. Somebody's mum, dad, brother, sister, daughter.
What you tell us could help keep young people safer on our streets and in our homes. You don't need to give your name or any of your personal details.
Keep thinking back where I wish people had used it and reported me in certain situations.
At Fearless.org, there is no way of tracing your name or location.
I potentially wouldn't have spent as much time in jail. Could have had me turning my life around quicker. My name's Donald. I work on a thing called the VOW Project, and I also volunteer with a charity called Aid and Abet, which is a people with convictions charity.
Donald has experienced time in prison for a variety of crimes, fuelled by drug and alcohol addiction.
I was put in a care when I was 14. For there I went for Young Offenders Institute, for there into adult jail, for a variety of different crimes, some of them violent, some of them due to drug and alcohol. I was caught in a cycle of offending, just continually coming out, getting into trouble and going back.
Donald has turned his life around. He has a family, and every day he works with young people, trying to make sure they don't make the mistakes he made.
Some of the work that we get involved in is going into schools and speaking to young people. Some of the key messages are about hope and speaking up.
At the time of Donald's crimes, Fearless did not exist.
Try to think of a situation where I would maybe have used it. I keep thinking back where I wish people had used it and reported me. It would have probably saved me a whole lot of hurt. If people had reported me, it would have probably saved years going in and out of the criminal justice system. Young people and communities in general have this sort of mindset that it's grassing, and they're not looking at it as from a caring point of view. I think if they thought one of their loved ones was going to be saved, they'd be quite happy for somebody to phone up Fearless and give that information.
Remember, when you report information to Fearless.org, your details cannot be traced and you are not a grass.
Situations that we're maybe speaking up about really need to be spoken up. Potentially, if you're speaking up, you could be saving a life, could be saving your own life, could be saving your friend's life. Potentially could be stopping them for being in prison for a long time by speaking up. That's done through care. That isn't done out of vindictiveness or nastiness. It's done through care, because even as I'm speaking now and thinking about me reporting my friend to the police because they were carrying a knife doesn't sit well with me. But ultimately, I wouldn't want him to go to jail, and I wouldn't want him to stab somebody. I would rather him be getting arrested, getting a knife taken off him and going through that, rather than being in prison for the rest of his life.
Speaking up can help protect potential victims, but it can also help those involved in crime. Crime
normally leads on to other crime, and in my experience, I work with the police on a daily basis and work with young people on a daily basis who are caught in the criminal justice system. The crimes normally escalate. It might start off a breach of peace, next time it's like a resisting arrest, then next time it's an assault, next time it's a serious assault, and it just seems to go up and up. The offences seem to get more serious, maybe getting questioned in certain situations, but there's not enough evidence, so they're not getting charged. And I find that escalates, and it certainly did with myself. Starting off with breach of the peace, to serious assaults, charged with weapons and stuff like that. Same with the drug use, starting off with cannabis, then before you know it's maybe an ecstasy, and then next time it's cocaine, and then before you know it's onto the heroin. A lot of times, things just escalate and snowball, and always looking for the next thing.
Telling Fearless.org about criminal activity could be the best thing you do for those behind it.
A lot of times, if it wasn't for that person passing on that information, things could have been 100 times worse. They could be in jail for 15 years rather than the 5 months that they're going in for, or they could have seriously harmed not only somebody else, but they could have harmed themselves. I think further down the line, people reflect and realise that probably one of the best things that could have happened to them. In hindsight, if somebody had reported me, I potentially wouldn't have spent as much time in jail, which would potentially could have had me in rehab quicker, could have had me turning my life around quicker, getting to spend time with my kids, more time with my kids and building up a relationship with them. I think there would have been a turning point quicker if somebody had maybe reported me, opened my eyes up a bit quicker.
Donald's new path means he's there for his family, and he would do all that he can to make sure they don't repeat his mistakes.
As a parent now, and I thought my kid was out there with a knife, I would 100% report him. I would report him because I wouldn't want him doing anything stupid with that knife. I wouldn't want him harming himself or harming anybody else. Yeah, even if it led to a criminal record, I would report him.
Donald finds it hard to forget what he's done in the past.
To be honest with you, I'm still sort of dealing with all of that stuff, because new stuff comes up for me daily. I could be speaking to a young person and they might say something that might remind me of something that I've actually done in the past. But ultimately, when I went into a treatment centre for my drug and alcohol issues, did a lot of working on myself. I would look at some of the incidents I got involved in. I would try and make amends to people where possible. I'd done one-to-one counselling, I'd done group counselling. All looking at myself, all of a sudden I was somebody that I didn't recognise before. I was getting to know myself a bit better, and my likes and dislikes and who I really was. And because I was involved in drugs and alcohol, it reflected on my behaviour. I would make a lot of really poor choices, and sometimes I didn't have the patience that I should have had. Even today, 10 years later, I'm still working on myself. I'm still working through it.
Most will reach a point in their life where they regret their crimes and want to make amends.
Sometimes that can be quite hard, just to realise that you've inflicted that and you've done what you've done and harmed somebody else. I mean, I've been a victim of violence myself, and sometimes it's not the actual violence, it's a hard bit to get over. It's the mental stuff that you have to try and get over, which can last for years. You know what I mean? The bruises and the black eyes and the stab marks can clear up in no time, but sometimes the mental torture that does, or the mental damage that does, can last for a lifetime.
By contacting fearless.org, you might be helping someone reach that turning point much sooner. You are definitely not a grass.
It's the wrong way to look at it. There's always got to be a victim. If somebody's reporting something, it's normally because they think there's got to be a crime, or there has been a crime. There's always a victim at the back of that, and it's somebody's mum, dad, brother, sister, daughter that's been harmed in some way, or had their house broken into, or had something stolen, or been bullied, or assaulted. There's real stories behind every one of the victims. One day that victim could be people that are calling other people grasses.
You don't need to give a name or contact info. We can't trace you. The police can't trace you. No one can.
If you know something's going on and you want to prevent it, but you don't want your name out there, you can contact Fearless, and their website's always available to anyone and anything. Go to fearless.org.
Go to fearless.org.